and internet world. Welcome to another edition of Golden Independence. We are here live in Bermuda, and it's another glorious day. It's beautiful. Yeah. So, give a thumbs up to the channel. Greatly appreciated. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for signing on, and thanks for sharing your time because we know and understand that time is valuable. Yeah, time is precious. Time is our greatest asset. Yeah, time is our greatest asset. And that's what we need to be mindful of and looking at. We should not be looking at what we've been taught to look at in terms of money. This paper slash digital fiat monetary system that we were birthed into, indoctrinated in, we were told a lie. We were told that we need to have, or we need to be doing things to accumulate billions of dollars, right? That is a lie. What if I told you that you are already a billionaire, that you are already a trillionaire? Hmm? What am I talking about? Well, if you don't understand that riddle, I'll break it down like mashed potato, real simple. I'm talking about time. See, we are not taught to protect our time. We are not taught to save our time. We are taught how to be distracted from our own time to put our minds towards somebody else's time. Hence, we pay attention. What you pay attention to, you are giving it your time, your effort, your energy. And that's why that thing, that entity becomes wealthy, right? Or rich. Think of it. Think of it. Especially now in this era where it's all about the clicks, it's all about uh, how many eyes are on it. That's what it seems to be about, right? Well, every it seems like the business now is really time. The business is about how many eyes can you get, right? How many eyes you can get in the shortest amount of time. And once you have the eyes, then it's about, well, how do we generate the currency through those eyes? And if we can generate enough movement, enough flow, enough currency, because not everybody's gonna, you know, take that step to part ways with their dollars. But if you are making that much of an impact, then over time you win favor, especially if you're consistent, not persistent, Notice, I didn't say persistent, not persistent, consistent. When you are consistent, yeah, consistent in the right things. Now, I want to talk about or just broaden the discussion on this channel regarding what we discuss in terms of what's the ultimate asset. Yeah. And you just heard me explain the main asset, which is time, right? Now, here's the key. How do we save our time, encapsulate our time? Yeah? How do we do that? How do we gather our time so that we can have more experiences, more positive experiences at a faster rate? Yeah? How do we do that? Through time. And the conclusion that I came to is with Bitcoin and Bitcoin based businesses, Bitcoin based opportunities. I see Bitcoin as the digital representation of time. And if you're able to acquire this, yeah, if you are able to acquire this digital asset that is a representation at its core of time, meaning it's a representation of work, effort, yeah, energy. It's a digital representation encoded of energy that can be utilized in the physical world. Yeah, it's actually a measurement. It's a measurement of energy. However, it does take time to generate the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is generated every 10 minutes, right? A block is produced every 10 minutes. And within that block, there's a reward, right? And the reward is the Bitcoin. Yeah? Now, if you are able to acquire Bitcoin in any way, shape, or form, we will be able, right, in the future, in the near future, to have more positive experiences because the value of that Bitcoin is going to appreciate because it's time, it's an asset. Assets appreciate, liabilities depreciate. Assets appreciate over time, they increase in value. So it doesn't matter if Bitcoin is 80,000, 70,000, or 100,000 now, or even 90,000. It doesn't matter if it's 90,000 now. If you are converting your dollars or saving in Bitcoin, over time, the amount of Bitcoin that you saved, whatever that was, even if you saved $1,000 or $100, if you saved $100 of Bitcoin every week or every month, over time, right? That value of Bitcoin that you acquired will will increase, unlike your fiat saving method, which will actually decrease. If you saved in Bitcoin $100 a week or $100 a month for 1 year, right? Matter of fact, you could even split it up because I know times are hard. We know that times are hard. Take $100 and split up the $100 and save $50 in your traditional banking system, and you take the other $50 and you convert it into Bitcoin. In 1 year, your Bitcoin, right, or let's just say over the term of what would be a natural CD, right? 5 years, right? If you was to be saving $50 every week or every month in a fiat system and take the other $50 in Bitcoin, in 5 years, your Bitcoin stack will be worth more than your fiat money stack. Matter of fact, if you did the amount on a calculator, right? If you were forward thinking and did it on a calculator of because dollars is supposed to be stable, right? Well, you would have much less than what you think you should have because of fees, and you're not getting that much of a percentage. So because of the fees over time, you're basically in 5 years you're basically paying the bank to hold on to your money in fees. Why and why do that? You might as well take all the money out. You might as well take all the money out as soon as you get it. Even if you're making 10,000 a month, you might as well take it all out because it's not serving you. It right now, cash is serving people way better than having it in the bank at this point in time. Right now, it's cash and Bitcoin. Finding ways how to generate Bitcoin, earn Bitcoin, and having cash right now in this era. But in the next 4 years, possibly even 10, it's going to be a whole different way of living. And the new people to be free are going to be those who have a million Satoshis. And you know what? I heard a statistic that which really blows my mind that only and this is just a probability. It may be even less because at the rate of which the governments and the corporations are buying up Bitcoin, Bitcoin is going to be so centralized. When I say centralized, meaning it's going to be in the hands of the corporations and the banks and governments and not in the hands of the people, the majority of it, right? Like from right now, the what's left, the Bitcoin that's left. And guess what? We still need to take into consideration the Bitcoin that's going to be lost in the future because people who get into Bitcoin now, they're not going to know how to take custody. So even if more people started to take custody of Bitcoin or start to buy Bitcoin, again, those people are going to leave them on exchanges and then be vulnerable on certain exchanges for whatever reasons. They may close down, they may do a rug pull, or, you know, different jurisdictions, different governments change their mind, right? Or the exchange gets hacked. That happens all the time. Exchanges get hacked. So people will buy Bitcoin on an exchange and just leave it there. And then when the Bitcoin goes down, they lose their Bitcoin. That's what happened with Mt. Gox. They lose their Bitcoin, right? That could happen. That could happen again. It's possible because another wave is coming, the Satillionaire wave, right? But check this number: 80 million people. This is from all the Bitcoin that's currently being mined right now for the next 10 years, and even the buying that's going on. The buying is happening with the corporations. Definitely, we know Michael Saylor strategy is gobbling up all the Bitcoin like Pac-Man. Is gobbling like Pac-Man, right? So just that one company alone, and then you have Jack Mallers' company, which is looking 21. His company 21 is looking to surpass strategy. Not to say that it will happen, but just to have the mindset that they want to have more Bitcoin than strategy. So just from those two companies alone, with the mindset of those CEOs, just by those two alone, there's going to be a sort of centralization where these two companies may be the new banks of the world, because banking is going to be done in Bitcoin. Yeah, banking in the future, in terms of assets being under management, assets, and remember, assets appreciate. And the people who already have assets, they're looking for alpha. They're looking for what's the alpha of them all. Warren Buffett does not diversify. He is concentrated in with regards to his stock. It's concentrated. That's how he became wealthy, and slow over time. So if you were to look at the crypto world as stocks, Bitcoin is the first stock, the first mover's advantage. So you're already ahead of the game. And all these other cryptos won't be without Bitcoin. Matter of fact, any crypto that's going to be produced in the future is going to need Bitcoin. You need Bitcoin. Why? Because how are you going to raise the funds? In order for you to raise funds for people to buy your coin, you got to accept either Bitcoin or Ethereum. That's how it's done. You create a coin and then you offer Bitcoin, right? Or Ethereum in exchange for your shitcoin, whatever it is, or whatever. We're not going to call it shitcoins. We're going to say for whatever project you're working on. It's a fundraiser. You might as well call them fundraisers, because you're exchanging, right? Because the people who are putting the crypto, they are saying, well, it's worth this amount in Ethereum, or it's worth this amount in Bitcoin. Or they say, hey, or you could pay $100 in Tether. So you have those three options. You have the Tether options, and you have the Bitcoin and Ethereum options. And with those three forms of revenue, that's three forms of revenue with one asset, right? You've created a crypto. And now you launch, the crypto gets launched, and it may do well, it may not. But the person who created it gets the Bitcoin. This is why Bitcoin, it only makes sense saving your money in Bitcoin if you want to be, if you have any inkling of just surviving in the future. You're going to need Bitcoin. So only 80 million people, I went off a little bit, 80 million people are going to have, and it may be less, a million Satoshis. And Satoshis are fractions of a Bitcoin. Only 80 million are going to have or less, it may be less than that, is going to have 1,000,000 Satoshis. And all because of the information that I said prior. Let that sink in. Let that marinate. Let that swirl around in your brain a little bit. Let that go back and forth in your cranium. Are you one of that number? Hmm? If you already have 1,000,000 Satoshis, congratulations. Congratulations and well done. See, 1,000,000 Satoshis right now is approximately 1,500. 1,500, and you can get 1,000,000 Satoshis. You could do that, lock it off. Go so like you see what I'm saying? If you just convert 1,500, boom, and self custody, your that amount of Bitcoin, that's your retirement plan, ladies and gentlemen. That is your retirement plan. And if you're watching this video and you already have well over 1,000,000 Satoshis, hey, congratulations, I salute you, right? And well done, and I'm just glad to be on board. I'm glad to be a part of the 80. I'm thankful, I'm grateful to be a part of the 80. And also those who I've helped, right? Those who I've helped along the way to get to be a part of that 80 as well, with the BitHarvest opportunity. Just like that. What a difference 12 months make. Because you could do something one time and then use the system as leverage to get to certain goals. And sometimes when you're doing certain things to get to your own goals, you don't know that you're you're a mini Michael Saylor in your own right, because by having a certain goal, you find yourself into a bigger macro picture that you didn't even expect. Because I didn't think that I would be part of the 80 million. I wouldn't even think that. And knowing that ahead of time, just based on the numbers, just based on the numbers, that is, that's a very calming sense of, it's a it's a it gives a very calming sense of awareness. It's a very calming sense of awareness, and things become a bit more clear, a bit more sharp, and I got disconnected a little bit. We got it's a healthy way to detach from all of what's going on in the world. A healthy way, yeah, and it helps to remove a lot of the toxicity that's in the atmosphere today of 2025, post COVID. You know, a lot of families were destroyed. Yeah. However, those who are in this space, we have hope for a better future, because we know that we are going to be the foundations of many people's lives. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sign out. And have to think about it. Would you like to be part of the 80? The opportunity is now. You could get your start now. Yeah? The thing about BitHarvest is that you don't need 1,500. You could start with 100. You could start with 100 at a time and then let the machines work for you. Recruit the machine, because the machine is going to get the Bitcoin or the Satoshis for you in your sleep. That's what we're doing. I wake up to Satoshis daily. But that's all for now. Thanks for tuning in. Golden Independence signing out. Bless up.